Today we're going to visit with Assistant Wildlife Division Chief Bill Haas and talk about the importance of seasonal employees for the Game and Fish Department. I'm Mike Anderson with the North Dakota Game and Fish Department. Bill, now is the time we're looking for seasonals for the summer season. What type of jobs do we offer for employees?
Okay. We have fisheries and wildlife opportunities primarily. From our fisheries jobs, we have our fisheries technicians. They'll help out with fisheries management, boating access, those type of things. And then we also have our aquatic nuisance species inspectors. Many people may have seen those folks around the landscape in last couple years. And so we hire some of them. And then on the wildlife side of things, we have our wildlife technicians. Help out in wildlife management areas, putting signs up on our plots, a lot of different job duties like that. And then we also have our waterfowl technicians, our lab technicians. We have some people that we hire to help out with dove banding, duck banding, goose banding. So it's a pretty wide array of duties, and there's a lot of opportunities out there.
One thing we should mention, the Game and Fish Department manages over 430 lakes,
right,
and over 220,000 acres of wildlife management areas. So we need these employees.
Yeah, there's a big need. From the field staff standpoint, you can definitely attest to that. We have a small staff, permanent staff, but we're efficient in what we do. We have a busy season, of course. April through summer is extremely busy, and so that's when we really key in on hiring these seasonal staff to help out during that busy season.
Speaking of the permanent staff, Bill, an interesting stat is more than 50% of the full-time employees at the Game and Fish Department right now started out as seasonals.
In the fisheries and wildlife side of things, it's even higher, up to 80% of our staff. So that's how crucial it is for these young professionals to get a jump start and get started early with working for the department and getting these experiences. And that's not only if they want to work for the Game and Fish Department, it prepares you to work for other partner agencies, nonprofits such as Ducks Unlimited, NRCS, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. So it prepares you for a lot of jobs, as well as our enforcement division. We have our game wardens, and those jobs prepare them very well to become a game warden just as well.
Bill, we talked about the jobs. But what do they actually do when they're hired?
Right. It depends. Of course, we have such a wide array. We have 7 different locations they could be stationed in, and depending on what your job duties are, it could be a wide array of things. So you look at our wildlife technicians, there's a whole bunch of different job duties they end up doing, and that's what we concentrate on. We're trying to train them to get all those different experiences. So we'll have noxious weed control, might be chemical, might be clipping through mowing, might be moving beetles around, so biocontrol. And then you move into habitat work. We have grass plantings and food plots, and a lot of job duties associated with that. We have gun ranges, so they help with maintaining those gun ranges. We have plots tracks, so signing on wildlife management areas and plots tracks. On our fishery side of things, they also will help out with getting in the field and netting different lakes and shocking and just sampling, so we know what we have out there, what we need to request for stocking. So yeah, it's a wide array of job duties you can imagine.
And it's a good way to start if you're going down this career path.
Oh yeah, I was fortunate. I started when I was 18 years old, and so that's why I always tell these young professionals is they have to be 18 to work for us. Basically, they could start younger, but there's so many limitations, it's not very realistic. So 18 years old is when we realistically would like them to look at starting their career with us. So right after high school is a possibility. Otherwise, for sure, after their freshman year, all the way through each of those years of college. It's great experience. And so really what they need to look at is they're trying to gain that experience. In addition to that, they're looking to get a reference. They're trying to prove themselves.
Bill, what are the eligibility requirements for these seasonal positions?
What we're looking to hire is college students that are going into a natural resource career. So that could be grazing, it could be fisheries management, wildlife management, any of those closely related fields, and that's really what we're looking at. Some of the employees we hire will be recently graduated from college, the first few years out, trying to get some additional experience before they get that first full-time job. But that's the main requirement. They may be required to get their pesticide applicator's license, or maybe we'll even give them the opportunity to get a commercial driver's license. But all those are opportunities once they get hired for us that, that we give them to train them.
Bill, what are some incentives for these college students to apply?
Right, so one challenge is lodging. We have 7 different locations. We try to hire, if someone's say from Mandan or Bismarck and they prefer to be in Bismarck, if there's an opportunity there, we'll try to put them in those locations. But oftentimes, they may be coming from a different part of the state or another state, so we provide free housing at each one of our locations.
Okay, and you and I talked about this a little bit. A lot of different equipment they learn how to run.
Yeah, that's true. There is a lot of different equipment. No matter which one of these jobs they're participating in, they might end up learning how to operate boats, pull trailers, operate skid steers, a lot of different opportunities for operating equipment. And just it's pretty neat when you watch a new employee come on and they don't know so much, and by the end of the summer, they've got their feet underneath them, and we have a very high rate of return of these seasonal employees, and I think that says something for how much they enjoy the jobs that they're doing. And so, maybe the second year they'll have a little more responsibility, and by the third year they might be in charge of supervising some of those other seasonal staff.
We're training these seasonal employees to basically take over some of the full-time positions as people retire here. Right,
yeah, that's really our ultimate goal, and we take that seriously. So when we hire these seasonal staff, we'll have a list of different opportunities that they can possibly take advantage of. For example, let's say our wildlife technicians, maybe they'll have an interest in welding, and throughout the summer we didn't have a welding project. So maybe if they're interested and we have a little bit of time, we'll provide some training on welding. That would just be one example. But we take that seriously and try to prepare these seasonal employees for taking that next step in permanent employment. And so it's twofold. One, we need the help. It's a busy time. But 2, we want to prepare them to replace us or to move into the workforce. It is a competitive field. However, it's completely achievable. When I first graduated from college, 20 some years ago, I'd have 100 applicants for a permanent job to compete with. It was pretty daunting. And now it's competitive, but it's significantly less. If a person has a fair amount of experience, they do a great job, have a good reference, and they're willing to move around a little bit, their chance of success in getting a job are very high.
Bill, how can somebody find out on how to apply and when the deadline is?
For the fisheries and wildlife technician positions, the deadline is February 1st. We will have some other opportunities coming out, such as the dove banding and duck banding, goose banding. Those will come out a little bit later. So just look on our website, and we have those announced under the job openings.
Why are we looking to hire summer employees in February?
Yeah, it's something where we need to prepare for beforehand, and it's pretty consistent with the other agencies. Most of the agencies are pretty much the same time frame of hiring, and so February 1st is what we've settled on. It seems to work pretty well, and then they're prepared and they know what they're getting into by summertime.
This is kind of a different question, but how do the sportsmen and women benefit from all these seasonals?
Right, as we discussed earlier, what the benefit is, it's a busy time for us, limited staff. We rely heavily on those seasonal employees to accomplish a lot of job duties. So yes, they're getting training, but it's somewhat of a product of just getting a lot of the work done that we need to get done. And they do a great job of it. If we didn't have any seasonal staff, we wouldn't be accomplishing the amount of workload and different things that we are able to do right now that the sportsmen sure appreciate out there with the habitat and fisheries management, boating access, all those different aspects we talked about that they accomplish.
A lot of great information, Bill. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.